So I said this to a couple groups. I want to say it to everyone because I can't remember who I said it to and who I didn't. So when you are confronted with a problem, right? For instance, this one's kind of tough, right? So when you're looking at a problem and you're in an interview situation, again, you want to start talking, right? You don't want to just sit there quiet. So it's okay to say, you know what? I don't initially know how to solve this problem. I'm just going to talk it through. So one of the strategies for solving a problem is, let me see if I can find a simpler version of this problem and solve this. So we're looking at these strings and you're like, oh my God, this is like horrible, right? So my fantasy would be that I had the string, I could make str, I don't know how the high they go, str7 equal to this, right? So that's probably the easiest possible problem that this function would have to solve. And then think about, okay, how would I solve this one? Like what steps would I go through, or like in my mind, right? How do I know that this is valid? Right? So just looking at this, like, how do you know it's valid?
It has an opening and closing.
Yeah, we can look at it and see this is a valid one, right? So one of the ways that I can tell is there's an even number, right? So there's the same number of opening as closing, right? So if this were the problem, right, I know that this is valid because first of all, I'm making it, right? I'm doing this myself, but like this is a horrible problem, right? But the way I would solve this one, like this would be like the other end, like maybe a more difficult problem. Like I would say, how would I, in my mind, I know that this is a valid parens? And I would just count them, right? I would say, okay, this is, plus, 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 plus. And then when I get up to a certain count, I start going down minus, 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 minus. So if I keep a count and I tick it up every time I see an opening and tick it down every time I see a closing, then all I would have to do is return count, assuming I'd made a count variable, equals 0. Right? And then as I go through my function, every time I do my count, like if I come to, like, say this situation, right, where there's an odd number, my count would be 1, right? So if my count's 1, right, count is equal, count is equal to 0, right? So if this is false, then, well, I don't want to confuse you. So if count, I could say if count equals 0, right, then return false. Okay, so that's just a strategy I wanted to, I said it to some groups, I can't remember who I said it to. So that's one of the things you can start talking through when you're in an interview. Say, okay, I'm going to solve like a simpler version of this. And oftentimes they'll give you pointers and say, okay, now, kind of guide you in the right direction. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing and stop blabbering. So who has a solution that they would like to share?
I can share mine.
Cool.
Can you see my screen?
Yep. Walk us through. What would you do? And it looks like you did what I suggested. Cool.
Okay, so just like you said, I use like the whole stack approach.
Okay.
So put 1, you take 1, right? So the very first thing I did here, I mean, even though it wasn't like one of the examples, but if the actual input is empty, then no need to go through a loop, it's just going to kick out. And if this one isn't hit, then it's going to iterate through the entire string. And it's going to look for either an opening or a closing. Right, so actually, I'm sorry. The first thing, if it was nothing but, it was something like this. So like if you had any numbers or letters, then it would be false. But so this here, it really doesn't even need to be there. So the first if statement is going to look for an opening parentheses.
Right.
right? And if it finds one, it's going to increment the parentheses count. It's going to go to 1. And then it's going to go to the next iteration. So whenever it finds a matching one or a closing one, it's going to return this variable back to 0. So if the input looks something like this, then the first time it's going to be the parentheses count, it's going to be 1. And then on the next index is going to be 0. And at the end of it, it's going to return, pretty much going to return a Boolean. So if the parentheses count is 0, it's going to return true. And then in any case where, say we have too many openings, not enough closings, it's going to come over here. So it's gonna keep on decrementing this parentheses count. And if it ever gets to less than 0, that means that we have too many openings and not enough closings. It's then gonna go and automatically hit this block here, and it's going to kick it out. And this one should have been the other way around.
Yeah, there you go.
And that's pretty much it.
Cool.
I did it in a whole separate. I don't have your test cases.
You don't?
Hold on, let me look at my Discord. Yep.
If you
It's a
click
very
it, are
prepared.
you able to download? Are you guys able to download it from Discord?
I am.
Yeah, we are.
Copy and
Okay,
paste,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just copied and pasted.
Okay, cool.
Awesome.
Awesome. So yeah, I think you can do it either way, right? Does this work?
Yeah, it should. I'm trying to get your stuff here now.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay.
So, shoot, hope it works. So passing in, let's see, string 1. Whoa, take it back.
Let's see. So how would we fix it? So I
The
think so. I think you want to
Change-
increment. I don't know if it matters if you go up or down, but well, it probably does. So start with the opening paren. So yeah, change that to opening.
Yeah, I think that's where I messed up.
Closing.
Okay, yeah.
There we go. Cool.
So string 2, false, false, and last one. Cool, I think it worked.
Yeah, good job. Thank you for sharing. Did anybody
problem.
else? Did anybody use the stack solution?
I have a quick question though.
Yeah.
On line 12 versus parenthesis count is less than 0. I mean, regardless if it was less than or greater than, wouldn't you want it to equal 0 to know that it's, oh, return false. I got you.
Yeah, like that wouldn't keep going through the loop again. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So if it's less than, okay, yep. It's got to be equal to, okay, yep.
Yeah. Or I mean, you could it probably be. Hold on, let me think. If parens, because okay, so you're returning parens count equals 0. Okay, cool. Yeah. Awesome. Anybody else want to share their solution or have a different solution?
It was simpler than mine, so I can't show it now.
You can show if you want. You don't have to though. Okay. Okay. So yeah, I don't want to.
I forgot to unmute my mic. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to just leave you on silent.
That's
I
cool.
wouldn't mind seeing it.
I'm sorry. I
I think
didn't.
it'd be cool just to see like different.
I wouldn't
things,
mind seeing it.
if you don't mind.
Okay, yeah, let's see it, man. Let's see it.
See that code?
I don't see anything yet. Now there we go.
Let me move this gateway tunnel. It's blocking my whole monitor. Okay. Well, I and my group, we incremented left and right individually.
Okay.
So as we go through the string, if it catches a left parenthesis, it increments left parenthesis by 1.
Okay.
Then if it catches a right parenthesis, it increments right parenthesis by 1.
Cool.
If at any point the right parenthesis is greater than the left parenthesis, because that would mean there's a close without an open,
Mhm.
answer becomes false and it breaks. Then if we manage to make it to this statement, which is the end of the string, if we hit the end of the string and left parenthesis and right parenthesis are not equal to each other, then answer is false and we return false.
Cool.
And just for show and
Damn,
tell.
this seems pretty simple.
Yeah, you're just basically using two counters. I mean, it's actually maybe a little simpler. I don't
I
know.
like that.
Depends on how you look at it, but yeah,
Yeah.
basically you're counting both of them. This is actually, I like it. I mean, it's different. And if you don't
Hey.
like negative numbers, then it's good. Cool. One thing you can do though, instead of using the break on line 44, if you're in a function, right, you can just say return false, right? You don't have to set the variable to false. You could just say, like at this point, return false, and that will automatically end the function, end the loop, and just kick you out. So, but this is fine. This
Okay.
works as well, but it's a little cleaner. I think I see that more frequently where like if a condition is false and they're trying to determine or return a Boolean, they'll just say return false.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got you.
Cool. Awesome. All right. So let's take, well, why did we press it? Let me stop